In May of 1953, author Aldous Huxley ingested 4/10 of 1 gram of mescaline, then proceeded to write about what he saw, heard, thought, and felt in a book that he titled The Doors of Perception. It is considered a key work in the studies of the effects of psychedelics. In April of 2025, Zaranyzerak ingested 50 milligrams of cannabis and proceeded to film the following Blu-ray update video. It is highly unlikely that this video will be seen as a key work in any capacity whatsoever. This is Zaranyzerak's Doors of Perception. Recording? Excellent. Cheers, everybody. They don't allow the smokeables here in my apartment building, so my imbibing? When I want to have a sesh, I think that's what the kids call it these days, it's edibles for me. So sometimes I'll just have gummies or gel caps. In this case, we have a nice, cool glass of Tang with about 50 milligrams of cannabis oil added. Definitely not something you want to down in one go, but nursing it over a little while. Quite nice indeed. You sort of just get a gradual buzz going, you know, and a gradual high. So I'm kind of at that optimal happy place right now, so I thought, why not do a Blu-ray update? Yes, because I've got tons of Blu-ray updates I need to get caught up on. As you all probably know, I'm sure you've been enjoying the sudden resurgence of the Multimedia Chronicles. Oh yes, we are back, baby. We are back with a fucking vengeance. There's gonna be so much new stuff coming your way, you guys have no idea. Like, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, Blu-ray update. Yes, I thought, what fun to do a Doors of Perception Blu-ray update, just for the hell of it. Because, I mean, and specifically... Are we back on? Okay, good. Stupid battery died right in the middle of the intro. How rude. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Right, Sci-Fi Blu-ray update, Multimedia Chronicles, woo! And stuff. So, that's what we're going to do. Oh my god, wow. We're just going to roll with it. Sci-Fi Blu-ray update today on the Multimedia Chronicles, Doors of Perception. Welcome back. Why don't we make the lighting a little more trippy, shall we? Let's not do that. Okay, well, anyway, what do we got here? We got a few, well, an upgrade first off, actually. Those of you who saw my complete collection overview, closer look thing that I did a while ago for this particular franchise may recall that in that closer look I said, yeah, I know that it just came out on 4K. I'll probably upgrade one of these days. Have you guessed what it is yet? Well, for those of you who did, congratulations, you were correct. For those of you who didn't and just want to know what it is, Starship Troopers, of course. What else could it be? Yeah, good old Starship Troopers on 4K at last. I have not actually sat down and watched the 4K yet, although I hear do tell it's a pretty good transfer, so yeah, definitely looking forward to checking that out. Just a second here. There we go. Inside we just have the Blu-ray and the Black-ray. Yeah. I do gotta say, I do like the cool black and silver motif of the 4K keep cases. Very classy, very nice. Really feel like you got some quality there. Ugh. Hi, it's me. It's insert shot time. Yeah. Oh, not this one. No, you're not allowed to see this one yet. Sorry. No. Stop looking. You didn't see anything. Yeah. I figured in kind of keeping with the theme, I should probably not be sober when I do the insert shots. So, high as a kite. Let's do some insert shots. We're gonna make them real pretty. Because, you know, black with electronic stuff, that just means business. All my computers are like jet black. Anyway, so here's the front. It's actually the exact same artwork I remember they used on the Laserdisc edition back in the day. Yeah. Yeah. I never actually owned that Laserdisc, by the way. It was one that was prone to disc rot. Sony, who owns Columbia Pictures, had a particular disc plant for their laser discs. Just this one plant in particular, for whatever reason, it had problems with its binding and stuff. So when they would put the plastic layer over top of the metal layer and the glue between that binds them. And the one ring shall bind them. But there was something in the glue that just it didn't like last very long, so you'd end up with laser rot, and as they called it back then. Now it's just become known as disc rot. And I just remembered that actually that in the days of Laserdisc they called it laser rot, which really is not accurate. I mean, other than yes, your laser disc is rotting. But no, it was disc rot. It's the disc that's rotting. But anyway, so yeah, and disc rot on laser discs would appear as you could still play the disc, but you'd have like a lot of noise in the picture, essentially. Usually just white speckles all over the place. And I'm not talking film grain, okay, you smart-ass anti-film grain people. No, not talking about that. This was like noise because the disc was literally disintegrating, so the laser didn't have as much. But because it was analog, remember, people don't realize this, the Laserdisc was actually analog video. So it was, the laser was reading visually actual physical pits in the disc, and it would pull the information from that. But so the video was actually analog. The original audio was analog as well. They later found a way to add a digital track. I don't fully understand all of the technology. It's I'm not like as into that side of things, but from my understanding, that's the general gist of how it worked. So that's why even if a disc was rotting, you could still play it, and it would still read whatever the laser would still read whatever it could see, right? But the parts that were blacked out from rot, it would just show up as noise on the image. But it wouldn't. It's not like with a DVD or a Blu-ray that's suffering from disc rot, where it'll actually freeze and it'll stop playing and it'll just kind of like trip all over its own feet trying to retrack the data. It works very differently from how Laserdisc did. But interesting. Anyway, Starship Troopers was one of those. Hopefully the same won't happen to the 4K, because I haven't watched it yet. Anyway, next up... Oh, hold on. Not next. We haven't looked at the back yet. There's the back. And surely I don't need to tell you about this movie. It's great. Space Marines versus aliens. You know, big giant bugs. What more do you want? Big statement against fascism. So actually quite a topical movie to watch right now. Yeah, so good stuff. And then in terms of extras, We have, yeah, so the 4K, I love this. The 4K disc is only the movie. That's it. Nothing but the movie. The entire disc is dedicated to the movie. I don't actually know how big these discs are. I guess if it's a dual layer, it's like, what, 200 gigabytes or something ridiculous like that? I know these 4K discs are huge. Then the second disc is the Blu-ray, which has the movie plus all the special features. So you got director and cast commentary, deleted scenes, 19 featurettes, screen tests, and more, which is probably a trailer and a photo gallery or something. So, there you go. I'm pretty sure none of those extras are new or anything like that. They sound quite familiar, and I'm sure I've seen them on other editions, like the old Blu-ray edition. In fact, that may be the old Blu-ray in there. I don't actually know. So it might just be the exact same Blu-ray that I've got on my shelf already, with just the 4K disc tossed in as well. Alright, cool. Probably explains why it was so cheap. Anyway, very cool. So that's one. Next up, I did not see this in the theater because I don't really go to theaters very often. It's just too damn expensive these days, honestly. It's like for Rose and I to go see a movie together. Rose is my daughter, for the 2 or 3 of you who don't know. Proud single dad, yeah. When we go to a movie, just admission for both of us plus food. I mean, you're not going to not get food when you go to a movie, right? You want the full experience, and that includes a big frickin' bag of popcorn. So we get popcorn and drinks and stuff, fairly basic. But all of that will cost us like $50 just for one stinking movie, So I don't really go to theaters very often. I figure like I can buy the movie in 4K for half the price of what this evening at the movies is costing. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of the time you can get a good deal. So anyway, didn't see this in the theater, but I've always loved the original trilogy and the animated one they did in between the first two and everything. What else could I be talking about but The Matrix Resurrections? Yes, so this was the first time I watched it. So yeah, by the way, you're going to get some like mini reviews in this too, so bonus. So this was the first time I'd watched it, was when I picked up the 4K. I just watched it fairly recently, and what did I think of it? Well, I'm one of those freaks that actually really enjoyed the entire trilogy of the original. Yes, I agree that the script for parts 2 and 3 could have gone through a couple more passes, but it's not bad. I mean, there's some good ideas. There's some amazing set pieces in there, and action and stuff, and I love it. And it just has a really epic kind of feel to it. So when I heard they were doing a new one, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how they're going to approach that. Well, there'll be a few spoilers in here, by the way, for anyone who has not seen The Matrix Resurrections, so be warned, all right? I will be a little spoilery here. But, yeah, so I was kind of wondering what they were going to do. So it sounded like it was going to be a new iteration of The Matrix, but that echoed the old one. And I guess that's kind of what it is, but it's different. Yeah, there were parts of it I found a little confusing. I definitely need to rewatch it a couple times, but I mean, that's just kind of The Matrix anyway. Like, first time is you just kind of take it all in on almost on the more surface level. The second time around is when you really start to dig deeper and get more out of it. But having only watched it once, I enjoyed it as a very I enjoyed the self-referentialness of it, and how they make reference to the success of the original trilogy. In the Matrix universe, the original trilogy that we know as the Matrix movies was a video game trilogy with photorealistic graphics, apparently. But so what we know as the movies was all just a big video game. So having it exist in universe in that form, like that story exist in universe as a story, allow them to be very self-referential and things like that, and basically say like, no, like you're Neo, all the things you put into your game actually happened. Like that was the real past, and yeah, and just the whole thing about having basically again having to choose between staying in the Matrix or being free, with more devious levels of deception by the machines. Like for example with Trinity, how she's been given a husband and kids and stuff like that, and she's like, oh, I don't know if I can leave them, and it's like, but Trinity, they don't exist. Kind of a bit of a WandaVision thing there, but yeah, and I mean, anyone who does not recognize many aspects of the Matrix, not just this. Well, this one's much more blatant with it, but the original trilogy especially, as well, where they had to be a little more subversive. Anyone who does not recognize the Matrix saga as a whole as a trans allegory, you're missing some subtext there. Some subtext that is actually quite blatant in a lot of cases. But that's a whole other subject for a whole other time. You can find ample articles online about it, believe me. Just steer away from the frickin' hate monger bullshit. Go, get the real deal. Get the real skinny from like a nice LGBTQ page or a trans specific page or something like that. You will find many that talked about the Matrix, especially the new one. But yeah, so you got like additional levels of allegory in there, and I like I like meta stories like that are kind of stories within the story, or the story of the making of the story, or whatever it is. Like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, for example. What was it? One nobody ever talks about, Delirious by John Candy. The only thing they ever talk about with that movie is how people were really mistreated on set, and John Candy got sick of it and basically said he'd walk off if people weren't going to be treated better, and he himself would go and make sure crew members were fed and watered and taken care of and stuff like that. And yeah, that movie. What was I talking about? What was that even related to? All right, meta commentary, because in that one he's a writer where everything he writes comes true. And he's living in the world of his own story, like his own creation. So, where he gets like sucked into that world. It's fun. I always really enjoyed that one, but alas, it doesn't seem to get much recognition. And I'm really, and hearing that story about how he stood up for all like the crew and everybody, make sure they were treated properly and fed properly and given ample break time and whatnot. I mean, that was just John Candy. He was just a great guy, Yep. This is what a Blu-ray update is like on Doors of Perception, by the way. We go on many tangents. Tangents. Because the ADHD floodgates are opened wide. Anyway, I thought it was fun. I thought it had some fun ideas, and within that, all that allegory, and it's like, oh, it's a video game, and stuff. There is some not so subtle, scathing jabs at the Hollywood studio system, and even it's a sequel that is even talking about itself being a sequel, and how they didn't want to do a sequel. But if the studio was dead set on doing a sequel, that they were going to do it themselves and make sure that it wasn't fucked up that badly. But they see it as nothing but a blatant cash grab. So I don't think both Wachowskis did it. Yeah, no, just Lana. Lana did it. But yeah, so that was that. But, yeah, I thought it was... What the hell was that? What the fuck was that? But, 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 yeah, I thought it was... Do you hear that? Like a weird strangled ghost sound? I mean, I thought it was one of the cats, but I heard one of them licking. I don't know where he is, though. He's just licking so loud I can hear him. Where are you? I hear the licking. Sorry. Lick Quest. Anyway, where were we? Right. Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, just the jabs at the studio system and how they kind of got fucked over and whatnot. I enjoyed all of that. So, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was on anywhere near the same level as the originals. But for what it is, kind of a meta commentary on, you know, cash grab sequels and, you know, sorry, I lost the train of thought there. All the sort of self-referentialness, like the new Morpheus commenting on the fact that he didn't get as cool an intro as the original Morpheus. And stuff like that. There were a lot of fun little moments, and there were moments where there was a lot of heart, too, like where Trinity has to make her decision if she wants to go with Neo or if she wants to stay with her pretend family, you know, and there's a lot of little tough moral choices like that throughout, which is what you want in a Matrix movie. So, and there's plenty of action as well, some terrific action, too, and some revisitings of some familiar action moments from the originals that, but from a slightly different perspective. So, yeah, some interesting ideas in there. I don't feel it quite lands as well as the originals, but, you know, a decent enough sequel that clearly nobody but the studio wanted. And I think they made the best of it, for sure. And actually, you know, had a few things to say, which is good, because, I mean, The Matrix has always been about the social commentary, right? So anyway, that was The Matrix Resurrections. Let's take a quick look at the back. Spoilers are over, by the way. Church, why did you come back and start vigorously licking the shit out of yourself? You can hear him licking over there, but... Sorry, Cat was just licking up a storm over there, and it was distracting the hell out of me. Let's take a look at the back here. Shouldn't be any big spoilers on the back. No, there's barely even a description on the back. Well, let's take a look. Return to the source. Return to... God, this is printed so small. Return to a world of two realities, everyday life, and what lies behind it. To truly know himself, Neo must follow the White Rabbit once again into the Matrix. Of course, Neo already knows what he has to do. What he doesn't know is that the Matrix is more dangerous than ever. Deja vu. And special features on the Blu-ray only. The Matrix transformed action in cinema, and filmmakers have changed the game yet again. Go beyond the code to find out how the cast and crew created the most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding scenes in The Matrix Resurrections as they take action to the next level. What the hell kind of description was that? That doesn't tell us anything. Lame. Church, why are you going bananas? He just came bounding into the room and is now vigorously licking his crotch. For fuck's sake, Cat. Get out of here. Come on. Go do it somewhere else. Go on. Thank you. He actually listened. Wow. I mean, he didn't go that far away, but it'll have to do for now. Yeah, so I have no idea. I mean, I guess it's an assortment of featurettes as there usually is. And then inside we just have... hold on a second. I'm just gonna... digital coat. Let's right side up. There we go. Not that you can really see them, but we got the Blu-ray, which is green, and the black ray there. The UHD ultra high definition disc. Next up, this is one that I've been wanting to see again for a very long time. I think this is another one of those prescient sci-fis because this is, in many ways, the world we're living in now. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man. Yes. In 4K. I actually never got this on Blu-ray. I was wanting to pick it up for ages, but I just never got around to it. So take a little look at the cover there. So yeah, I was a little too young to see this in theaters when it came out, but because it was R. Whoa. But I did see it on VHS, basically, as soon as it came out. We would have movie nights at my place. Come over here. Hi, how's it going? I must have bumped it when I was chasing the cat. Anyway, we would have movie nights every Friday. We'd order pizza and basically just watch movies. So this was just one of the movies we rented that week, or that Mom might have taped off pay TV, which she did for quite a number of years. But yeah, I remember really enjoying it. It's based. You guys probably all know the premise. It's the old standard of criminal has to fight for his life on a game show, and if he wins, he goes free, basically. So he is Arnold Schwarzenegger plays the criminal in question, who may have been wrongfully accused, because of course they're always wrongfully accused, aren't they? And has to fight various other criminals who are fighting essentially for the same thing, to gain their freedom. And yeah, and you know, lots of action and fun and Arnoldisms galore. I was quite amused by the fact that the game show host is actually Richard Dawson, who most people probably know from Hogan's Heroes, but he was also the host of Family Feud for a good number of years, and that's what I mainly knew him from. So I thought it was perfect casting that they had, you know, Richard Dawson, a very well-known game show host, as the game show host of this movie. And he plays like a really nasty kind of, you know, version of himself, if you will. But great stuff. And also, at around that time, I was a huge fan of Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. Well, still am, really. And Sven-Ole Thorsen, who played Tank in Captain Power, plays one of the guys that Arnold has to fight in the game show. So I was like, hey, it's Tank. Because I think The Running Man came out the following year, wasn't it? God, could they print this any darker? 87. No, I guess it was the same year. Yeah, so this actually came out the same year as Captain Power, 1987. I thought it was 1988, but maybe that was a different one. Anyway, so The Running Man, very cool. I haven't watched the 4K yet. I'm actually looking forward to revisiting this one. And we'll take a look at the back there. A game nobody survives, but Schwarzenegger has yet to play. Arnold Schwarzenegger leads this thrilling big-screen action blockbuster on 4K Ultra HD with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Set in a dystopic 2017 Los Angeles, now a police state in the wake of the global economy's total collapse. Oh my God, this sounds like the news. The Running Man is the hottest rated reality competition series where condemned criminals are given a chance for freedom by running through a gauntlet of heavily armed killers known as stalkers. When an ex-cop, Schwarzenegger, is wrongly convicted, called it, he finds himself on the series in the company of other prisoner contestants, featuring an unforgettably motley supporting cast, including Yaphet Kotto, Maria Conchita Alonso, Jim Brown, Jesse Ventura,
Toru Tanaka, Mick Fleetwood, Dweezil Zappa, and Richard Dawson. And it looks like there's no extras at all. It's just bare bones. I don't know. Well, also we don't have oh, it is. Shit, I didn't even realize we have a digital copy, but that's it. It says just the feature film. So it's just like when I saw it on VHS, except in ultra high definition with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Anyway, well, cool. Not much else to say about that. Running Man, awesome. Love it. Can't wait to rewatch it. Next up, this is a movie that everyone just seemed to love to hate. I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm not ashamed to say so. And I mean that unironically. The fact I was very high both times I watched it surely did not contribute at all to that. But, well, I mean, I can attest to the fact that this is a great movie to watch while you're high. I am, of course, talking about what else could it be? I mean, come on. Borderlands, yes. So, for those who don't watch my live streams, I'll quickly fill you in. I really like Borderlands, the games. I played the first two on stream fairly recently. You can probably find them in the YouTube archives somewhere. Oh, actually, I think I did a playlist of them, actually. Yeah, there's a Borderlands playlist. So if you want to see all my Borderlands playthroughs, you can check that out. I'm not going to be chopping that one up into episodes. It's too huge. But you can watch the original live streams there. And then I'm currently in the middle of playing the pre-sequel, the one that kind of gives us the backstory leading up to the events of Borderlands 2. So, anyway, not unfamiliar with the games. That's as far as I've played. I'm playing them basically in release date order. But, you know, I'd say I have enough of a familiarity with the games now. I mean, I've played Borderlands 2 especially. I played very thoroughly. I really enjoyed that one a lot. That was a great campaign and just a really fun world. Borderlands 1 was okay. It wasn't terrific, but it was good, but it had some aspects that annoyed me, like fucking Claptrap and just, oh my god, having to... I didn't realize you could preload the missions for the longest time, so anytime I would go to a different area, Claptrap would remind me about every single mission that was available in the entire game and every single person I should go and talk to. Every time I would change location, it drove me absolutely bonkers. You can see it all in the replays. But I eventually figured out, oh, you can just preload all the missions, then Claptrap will never bother you again, except when it's story relevant. So yeah, anyway, it was alright. But then Borderlands 2 just seemed to take everything good about the first one and like crank it up to 11. So that one I feel they got it right, you know, and it was an absolute blast. Really enjoyed it a lot. So anyway, I enjoyed the movie. I know a lot of people bitch and moan about some of the casting or whatever, like, what is it, Kevin Hart as Roland. I mean, let's be honest here, folks. Roland was a boring-ass character. I like, just couldn't wait for him to shut up half the time, because he would just keep rambling on and being all noble and shit, and God, he was boring. So, yeah, I have no problem with them using Kevin Hart to bring a little levity to an otherwise dull as rocks role, you know, character. I mean, yeah, no problem there. Well, I mean, honestly, I thought everybody was pretty good. So, I mean, you've got Queen Kate as Lilith, and you've got Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis, and who was the girl who played Tiny Tina? Ariana Greenblatt, that's who it was. Yeah, and you had Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina, who she was okay. The only thing I would have thought was that I felt she wasn't kind of, I don't know, Tiny Tina enough, meaning like having that sort of scatterbrainness, that manicness, and sort of unpredictability. I feel like she just didn't quite hit that same energy level of, extreme neurospiciness. Um, and that was really my only complaint. I really enjoyed Jamie Lee Curtis as Tanis. Again, very neurospicy, and like in that case, like just straight up neurospicy. Like she full on is on the spectrum, and but in like an endearing way. Like I loved her character, and she was obviously having fun with it, and the whole thing where they're like, they're in there like you said. You said marauders or whatever it was, and it's like, well, no, I didn't mean marauders. Like, marauders don't come down here. It's like, no, I know, I just meant they're like marauders. But you said marauders. It's like, no, well, that's not what I'm. So it was like a very autistic kind of misunderstanding, and I thought that was cute. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that, and then of course, oh my God, Jack Black. Why'd they get Jack Black? It's like, well, because he's funny. And I gotta say, Claptrap honestly had me in stitches the whole movie. I thought he had some of the best lines, and I don't have any issue with Jack Black. I don't know why people suddenly seem to, but I've always enjoyed his comedy and his just goofiness, and I thought he did a great job as Claptrap. Honestly, I thought he was hilarious. There is one scene in particular which involves a flower that I literally had to pause the movie because I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah. If you know, you know. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I don't want to say, even though I spoiled the shit out of The Matrix, I don't want to spoil Borderlands, okay? I'm going to keep all the secrets. So Borderlands will be... What a line to draw! I don't know. Clearly, I need another sip here. Cheers, everybody. What are we doing? Right. Let's. So you looked at the front. Let's look at the back. I did get the slipcover with this. Quite nice. Probably because they're all sitting on the shelf and nobody wants them. So, quite an easy get, I think. And then if we pop it out of the slipcover, yeah, I think it's just the same artwork. So there's the front. Very nice. I haven't actually met this dude, the big psycho guy. I don't think I've met him in the game yet. I think is he from the third one? I honestly don't know. But I really enjoyed his character. I thought he was really funny. Just the big dumb brute kind of character, but with some just great psycho lines, like which none of which I remember, but things like "I'll eat your spleen" or "I'll bathe in your blood" or stuff stuff like that. Just and always at like the most hilarious moments. Yeah, so it's just the same. So if we can actually just put them side by side there. There. And flip them around. And there you go. Basically the same. You get a bigger picture of Queen Kate on the slipcover. Actually, you kind of get all the pictures on the slipcover. Yeah, nice. So we'll just put all that back together. Oh, wait, no, we need to read the back here. Okay, well, let's read the back together, shall we? Just before we read the back here, I have to also say, Gina Gershon as Moxie? Wow. I mean, she basically just stepped right out of the video game onto the screen. Like, she was incredible. Oh my God. Amazing. And the dude who played Marcus, what was his name? Benjamin Byron Davis. Totally don't have it on the screen over there. I thought he was so good. I thought he was the guy from the video game, but he wasn't. He just did like a spot on impersonation of it. But you know who he was? he was the voice of Dutch in the Red Dead Redemption games. Yeah, that's Dutch driving the bus. How cool is that? Anyway, let's read the back here, because you have no idea what Borderlands is about. Lilith, Cate Blanchett, an infamous bounty hunter with a mysterious past, reluctantly returns to her home, Pandora, the most chaotic planet in the galaxy. Her mission is to find the missing daughter of Atlas, Edgar Ramirez, the universe's most powerful SOB. Lilith forms an unexpected alliance with a ragtag team of misfits: Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Ariana Greenblatt, Florian Munteau, and Jamie-Lee Curtis. Together, these unlikely heroes must battle an alien species and dangerous bandits to uncover one of Pandora's most explosive secrets. The fate of the universe could be in their hands, but they'll be fighting for something more: each other. Family. Based on one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time, welcome to Borderlands. So yeah, I mean, it takes elements from the game lore and obviously reshapes them, because there's only so much you can tell in a 2-hour movie, folks. Not the same amount of time that you have in an 80-hour video game. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it did pretty good justice to the characters and staying true to their nature, with the exception of Roland, who, sorry Roland fans, just not a big fan of the guy. Much prefer the movie version. At least he made me laugh, He got into some hilarious arguments with tennis and whatnot. But, yeah, I liked it. But what was I going to say? Oh, right, let's check out the extras. Borderlands, from game to screen. And these are both on the 4K and the Blu-ray, by the way. Meet the team, all aboard the Death Choo-Choo, bringing Borderlands to the screen. Well, isn't that what the first one was about? Anyway, badonkadonk time, fashion and action on Pandora, and high-tech hellscapes. Yeah, I think I did take a skim of some of those featurettes, and they're mostly just kind of fluff pieces. But, I mean, I'm nice. I'm nice. I'm glad that, or it's nice that they put, at least a few things on there. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought it was a lot of fun. And, I don't get all the, hate that it gets. It's fine for what it is. I don't know what people expected a Borderlands movie to be. I mean, it was going to be filled with humor, because the games are very, tongue-in-cheek and satirical and whatnot, and very funny. And, I mean, I think they captured the humor quite well. And also just the look of the locations and everything is spot on. It's just right out of the game. I don't know what more people want in a game adaptation. I thought Cate Blanchett was terrific. I mean, as always, she's Cate Blanchett. When is she ever not? But and seemed to be having a blast as far as I was concerned, and I really enjoyed that, because it was kind of casting against type, having someone like her in that type of role, right? I mean, we usually see her as these sort of elegant, graceful characters, like, Galadriel and, well, the Queen. So it was fun seeing her get to be the tough chick for once, and kicking butt and taking names, It was good. And they even did the swoosh with their hair, that weird swoosh that Lilith has, They even did that, So, I don't know. I liked it. I just would have liked a more manic Tina. But other than that, I thought it was a lot of fun. Alright? Alright? Fine. I know, you're all determined to hate it anyway. Well, poo on you. Try getting high and watching it. I think that is the optimal way. Anyway, last but most certainly not least, this is a movie I have not seen since it was new. And, just gonna have to pause for a sec here. Sorry, camera only does 30 minutes at a time. It's going to be like a feature-length episode. Anyway, might as well go for broke here. Finish up the last of the old drinky poo. I saved the best for last. Well, I don't know if it's the best movie. That's certainly up for debate. But the best edition. This is really cool. I could not pass this up. So as I said, I haven't seen this since it originally came out. But when I saw this edition, I was like, yeah, I gotta get this. This is just too neat. I'm going to do a proper closer look at some point, but we'll just take a quick peek now. D.A.R.Y.L. Yes, starring kid from Neverending Story, played Bastian Balthazar Bucks. Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember the kid's actual name. It's probably in here somewhere. Anyway, D.A.R.Y.L, where he plays basically a robot kid. And the only part of this I remember is when he goes over to a friend's place and plays pole position on his computer, and like it just keeps going faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and he's like getting ridiculously high score, and his friend is just blown away. And that's literally the only thing I remember. So it's actually a magnet sealed box. Look at that. See? Hold on. See that? What? I was waiting for it to go down by itself, but anyway, you get the idea. So you open it up, and you got some artwork inside, and a ribbon to pull out the disc and booklet, and you have more artwork inside. This is kind of a mini closer look. We'll do a proper one at some point. So anyway, I'm not going to show you everything, but we have a book with stuff in it. There, you've read the whole thing now. And then we have, well, here, let me give you like a proper look here. We'll do like partly closer look here. I'm not going to open it up in close up, but there you go. So look at the front. Very nice. So this is the Magnalock box. And flip it around to the back. Look at that. That one I really like. That's probably my favorite artwork on the whole box right here. I think that's just terrific. Okay, there we go. So we got that. And then we have the book. I'm not going to bother doing a close-up of that. So then check this out. Oh, I haven't even taken this out of the shrink wrap yet. Anyway, so check this out. We got a slipcover as well. So this was the limited edition slipcover in the even more limited edition magnetic hard box. So then we flip that around. Oh, that's what D.A.R.Y.L stands for. Data Analyzing Robot Youth Lifeform. And time for the cats to be fed again, apparently. How many cat feedings have we had in this video? I swear we don't overfeed them. Anyway, then if we slide this out, we have, yeah, it looks like we just have the same artwork as was on the box. Hi, insert shot guy here again. Just wanted to say, if anyone's worried about these insert shots and close-ups possibly ruining the forthcoming inevitable closer look video of D.A.R.Y.L, yeah, don't worry about that. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we're using a multitude of psychedelic colors here, whereas the closer look will be just normal white light. So, you know, I don't know if you were aware of this, but the cover doesn't actually pulsate and get all crazy like that in actuality. But, well, it doesn't. Anyway, you'll see the difference when we do the proper closer look. So even if you missed out on the box, as long as you got the slip cover, you still get the custom artwork. Well, one of them anyway. You don't get that cool back cover artwork, so yeah, sucks to be you. So if you don't know what D.A.R.Y.L's all about, leave it to Vinegar Syndrome to give us an enticing paragraph. I swear the copy that some of these boutique label sites write on their websites is what sold me on a lot of these releases. I bought so many movies. When we get into the horror stuff, you'll see. I bought so many movies sight unseen just based on being intrigued by the exemplar, I was going to say exemplarily, but that's not a word. Excellently, excellent written copy and descriptions of these movies. Just made every single thing sound like the greatest movie ever that you have to see. And this is the most incredible edition ever that will ever be and it has ever been throughout eternity. You want it. It's very limited. Quantities are limited and going fast. Fuck. Fine. So then I bought a whole bunch of them. Anyway, this was one of them. But D.A.R.Y.L was actually one I've been wanting to see again for a long time and get into the collection because I just love that era of science fiction movies and these weird sort of offbeat ones. Yeah, so I wanted to get that one back in the collection, and what a cool edition. So let's give a little look at the back here, and I'll fill you in on what D.A.R.Y.L's all about. And, of course, what extras we have here. Wonderful edition from Vinegar Syndrome. D.A.R.Y.L. When Joyce and Andy Richardson are offered the chance to foster a young boy, seemingly abandoned on the side of a secluded road, they take him in, treating him as the son they never had. Oh, that's what it was. See, it's been so long I don't even remember what the basic plot is. Although he remembers his name is D.A.R.Y.L, everything else about his past, his parents, and how he ended up on that secluded road remains a mystery. D.A.R.Y.L cannot remember a thing. On the other hand, I said that way too dramatically. D.A.R.Y.L cannot remember a thing. On the other hand, he quickly demonstrates incredible intelligence and the uncanny ability to learn any skill shown to him on the very first try. However, when a mysterious and sinister-seeming couple arrive at the Richardsons' home, claiming to be D.A.R.Y.L's real parents, they and their adopted son are thrust into an incredible high-stakes cover-up and fight for survival as D.A.R.Y.L's actual identity is revealed, and his life is put into immediate jeopardy. Arriving at the height of adult-friendly family films, oh, I like the sound of, yeah, I know exactly what they mean by that, too, which offset their kid-friendly marketing with complex and at times violent stunts, along with a pervasive sense of menace and danger, director Simon Winsor's, Quigley Down Under, D.A.R.Y.L, features an all-star supporting cast, including Michael McKean, this is Spinal Tap and Coneheads, Colleen Camp from Clue and Death Game, and Joseph Summer from Dirty Harry and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Vinegar Syndrome Ultra proudly presents the 4K UHD debut of this action and suspense-packed 80s video store favorite, complete with a brand new extended making of documentary. Not extended of making documentary, because that would be silly. Hi, this is a face break because you've been staring at the back of that case for quite a while. So, face break. And now back to staring at the back of the case again. Additional information and special features. 4K UHD disc contains the 100-minute feature presentation of D.A.R.Y.L, presented in HDR and newly restored from its 35mm original camera negative with the following sound options. Original English stereo soundtrack along with a commentary track with director Simon Windsor. See, they don't even entertain the notion of doing a remix or a Dolby Atmos 7.1 mix or something. It's like, nope, it was originally in stereo. Here's the stereo track. Done. Thank you. That's literally all we need on most of these catalog releases, or at least as an option. So, thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you. So, carrying on, also included is a God damn it, church. Also included is a Blu-ray disc containing everything on the UHD disc, plus the following special features. Rescued from the Scrapyard, The Making of D.A.R.Y.L, 55 minutes. A making-of documentary from 2023, featuring interviews with director Simon Windsor, co-writer David Ambrose, co-writer Alan Scott, visual effects supervisor Michael L. Fink, co-producer Gabrielle Kelly, costume designer Shay Cunliffe, I almost read that very wrong, Supervising editor Adrian Carr, and film music historian Jeff Bond. Promotional image gallery, theatrical trailer, video trailer, TV spot number 1, and TV spot number 2. Why didn't they just say 2 TV spots? Anyway, that is D.A.R.Y.L. So, very cool. Going to put everything back together here. So we're back in the slipcover. And open up the box. And let's see. We'll put the... See, this is something you'll see better in the closer look. Is we'll get... Oh, that is everything. Okay. There. Excellent. I don't think I did an insert shot for these, so we're going to determine the order of the things on the music stand now. That's right. I think, yeah, so I think we'll put Borderlands over here, so we have our shiny ones. And we'll put the Running Man there. Yeah. And then we'll put Matrix here, I guess. We'll have to put it on top. We can't really... Yeah, that's weird. I should have thrown one more in so we'd have something on top. Do I have anything? No, I've already got everything pre-organized. Anyway, so we got the devil horns. Perfect. Anyway, I think that's it. I think that's everything. Any questions? Well, I can't hear you. I'm a video. You got to come to the live streams if you want to ask me questions in real time. Silly. Anyway, yeah. So, leave some comments down below and, you know, tell me how wrong I am about everything, whatever. And, or not. Or whatever, just talk amongst yourselves and I'll read it. I'll just read your conversation like some kind of weird comment section stalker or something. Anyway, I think that is it from me to you for now. I'm going to probably watch some Scooby-Doo cartoons because it feels like that time of day. See, what time is it? Jesus, it's like 7:15. I haven't been to bed yet. Well, I should probably go to bed. Meanwhile, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And until next time, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So until next time, this is Zaranyzerak saying good night and sayonara. Perfect ending. 5 out of 7. Choose your battles. Choose them wisely. Because a poorly chosen battle today could cause you to lose tomorrow. Not all battles are about victory or glory. They are tests of your character. If your character is tarnished, it may affect future potential victories. So choose your battles. Choose them wisely. Don't leave future you dead on the battlefield.